All right, we're almost done with these notes. There's 2 vocab words I need you to know. Let's go ahead and get that done real quick. By the way, Miss Richard has aged, I think, 2 years since those last videos you were watching. If you can tell, just ignore it, all right? We're just gonna move on. So, first of all, knowing how many of a certain molecule are involved in a chemical reaction, that's these big numbers. We call those coefficients. A coefficient will tell you how many of a certain molecule is involved in a chemical reaction, and I'd like you to go ahead and circle the coefficients that we see in this particular chemical equation, which are those big 2's in front of the H2 and the H2O. All right, so that tells us that I have 2 molecules of H2. If there's no coefficient, we can put an imaginary 1 there. It just means that there's 1 O2 involved and then 2 H2Os. And then finally, we have a subscript. Subscript. Sub means below, script means writing, so the subscripts are these little guys down here, the writing below the rest of the normal writing. Those are subscripts, and that tells how many of an atom is in a molecule. So we've looked, for instance, at H2O before probably, and hopefully you know that there are 2 H's and 1 O in H2O. Now, one important thing to note is that if you're counting up the total number of atoms of a particular element in a chemical equation, you have to multiply these together. So if you have a coefficient and a subscript, you have to multiply them together to know how many of those are there. So for instance, right here, there's 4 H's because 2 times 2 is 4, and there's 2 oxygens because, again, if you wanted to, you could imagine a little imaginary 1 right there, and then you'd have 2 times 1 is 2 O's, okay? So just keep that in mind. You have to multiply those numbers together if you're counting up the numbers of elements involved, and little imaginary 1s in certain places sometimes can be helpful, okay? So don't forget, you do have a show what you know on the back of this page, so don't forget to do that. Please, please, please ask questions. Ask me, ask your classmates. Don't stay stuck, okay? This is one of the more challenging things we have to do in chemistry. That's why I usually save it for about this time in the year when we've gotten warmed up in school and stuff. So it's challenging, I know. Please ask questions, and we'll get through it together, all right? Good luck.